After building dozens of voice agents, I developed a prompt engineering framework that eliminates hallucinations. In this video, I'll break down step by step my prompt engineering process for you to get started building voice agents in Retell AI. If you're new to the channel, my name is Lenny Cowens, and alongside my partner Terrell, we've been building and selling voice AI solutions through our AI agency 61B for the past 12 months. Let's start by breaking down the prompt engineering process in Retell. Now that we're in Retell, let's focus on the system prompt. So when building out our prompts, we like to focus on three specific points in the prompts. One being the persona, two being the rules, and three being the steps to follow. Let's dive into each of these key components individually. Initially, when diving into the persona of the voice agent, it's comprised of three specific things: the role, the skill, and the objection. The role is essentially the voice agent's identity. For this voice agent, is an expert electrician AI voice assistant named Katie, who answers calls for an electric company called Spark Pro Electric. This business offers services including electric repairs, installations, inspections, and emergency troubleshooting. So that is this voice assistant's identity. Moving on to skill, these are the specific skills that you want the voice assistant to specialize in on the call. And that also comes to take into account things like functions. So appointment booking could be one thing, or something in the knowledge base regarding some of the services. So this voice assistant skills are the customer service, communication skills, or I should say customer service, communication skills, problem solving, emergency response handling, product knowledge, wiring, lighting, circuit breakers, electrical panels, outlets, data collection. All right, so those are the key things that we want our voice assistant to have a really great understanding for and have as its skills for its tool belt. As far as the objective, it's pretty simple. That's the objective of the voice assistant on these calls. So I like to go with somewhat of a simple objective that doesn't contradict or have a chance of contradicting with any of the rest of the prompts. So the objective we use for this voice assistant is to take inbound calls, then follow the correct rules and steps to follow for the AI voice assistant. So that essentially just means your objective is to do whatever are in the rules and the steps to follow. So as long as following that, we're good to go. You can access this prompt along with the settings for this voice agent that we're building right now in our free Skool community by clicking the link in the description. If you're a voice AI agency owner and you're serious about making money building and selling voice agents, Voice AI Accelerator might be for you. It's a free community for agency owners to share their journeys of acquiring customers, building great voice AI solutions, and more. Link in the description if you want to check that out. So make sure to do that. Moving on to the rules for the voice assistant. Now, this is where it gets really interesting because the rules can vary from person to person and from use case to use case. So the rules for this voice assistant are pretty simple: clarity and simplicity. Keep responses clear, concise, and to the point. Use simple language and avoid unnecessary details to ensure the caller easily understands the important information, or understands the information provided, I should say. When it comes to these voice assistants, they can be very complex, but it's all about the user experience. So that rule is very important when trying to explain complex things like electrical systems to an end customer who has no idea. Personalization. Tailor interactions to be empathetic to the customer's reason for calling. Efficient and polite. Please keep your responses natural. So this is just all about having that more human connection with the caller. So if they have a pain point or something's really going wrong, the voice agent should be able to respond accordingly to take that into consideration. So that's what that rule is for. Focus on each step. Remember the steps to follow for the AI voice assistant, and that you must stay on track with these steps. So this is a really important rule for the voice assistant to not go outside of the logic that we give it, and the follow-up key to building these prompts in the steps to follow. All right. And lastly here, when it comes to the current time, this is actually a dynamic variable. And we have another video that we can get into the details of this. So make sure to check out that video on dynamic variables. But this is actually just a default dynamic variable that Retell lets us use in any prompt. You don't need to have an inbound webhook at all. It's just automatically based off of what they currently provide for us here. So this specific one is current time, and it does give you the current time in PST or West Coast time, America and Los Angeles. So keep that in mind. If you do live in another time zone, you can just add a prompt in back of it, something along the lines of convert this to East Coast or convert this to Central, whatever it might be, and it'll automatically do that for you. So you should be good to go there. Moving on to the steps to follow. So this is where we're able to build really complex voice assistants and have them for sure stay on track. The steps to follow in the natural way that we like to prompt these voice assistants all has to do with the same type of way that you prompt multi-LLM state systems. And when it comes to those systems, it's guiding the conversation on a strict path. And that's essentially what we try and do, even with single prompt systems, just by how we develop and create these prompts. So when it comes to the steps to follow, we like to create these steps in a numbered list. And within these numbered lists, there's an overarching topic, or I should say direction for that specific number. So this first number in the steps to follow is understand the customer's reason for calling. Always start the conversation with the given meeting or with the given greeting message, and that's down here below. And the initial greeting message is hello, thanks for calling Spark Pro Electric. My name is Katie. How can I help you today? And we do want it to speak first. So if you see here, you can have it speak first. You can have it be dynamic, or you can wait for the user to speak first. We're going to have the voice agent speak first as inbound. But essentially, we want it to understand the reason for the caller calling. And that's what this initial step is all about. Listen intently to the customer to understand the reason for calling. Ask additional questions when necessary. And then to add context to help the voice assistant along the way and know what question to ask, what we did is we gave it a couple of examples. Continuing in the steps to follow, when it comes to customer information, that is something that we also need to collect. So collect the customer's information is the second step. We do want to collect it one field at a time. And it's always important to mention things like this. All right, whether it be this or always repeat after the call, or specific things you do want to put in caps. And this just correlates with the format of how we format these prompts. And we like to use Markdown. As we continue, when collecting the information, the user experience is really important to take into consideration. So with this, we want to collect all bits of information we need and then follow up and confirm it with the customer. It just saves time and is an easier and better customer experience. So we're going to collect the customer's first name and have them spell it out to us for just accuracy reasons. And we're going to give it an example of how that would go. And these are important aspects when building a prompt to not only tell it what to do, give it examples of how to do it, because that's how you really put controls and guide rails on this thing. When it comes to the next bit of information, we wanted to collect the number as well. So again, we give an example of how to collect that number. And another thing, backtracking to the name. We do put dashes here just to signal to the voice assistant, hey, they're going to give these letters out individually with spaces in between each letter. So an aspect to know how to do this is to review the transcripts after the call. There, you're able to gain new insights on how the voice assistant is actually interacting and taking in the directions you're giving it. Then you can alter it accordingly to improve its accuracy and really have a voice assistant that is off the scales. So collecting the customer address is the last bit of information we need to collect. And then finally, we do want to confirm all of this information with the caller. So after collecting the caller's first name, preferred phone number, and address, always, again, in caps. So there's specific words that are really powerful when you put them in caps. It's almost like a highlight to the voice assistant. Always, only, must. Those type of words are very, very powerful. Always confirm with the caller. Okay, so it means always, regardless. If any information was recorded incorrectly, only recollect and re-verify the incorrect recorded information. That's important because it will just go through every piece of information that collected, even if just the name was incorrect. So again, just user experience stuff. And you can make a lot of these improvements, again, just by listening to these call recordings and reviewing the transcripts, because that's going to give you all the insights on how the voice assistant is operating and acting based off of the directions that you're giving it. So setting expectations and next steps. At the end of the call, after collecting the caller's call reason, along with their information for that follow-up, it does set expectations, or I programmed it to set expectations and ensure the customer has no further questions or needs no further assistance. After they do that, it's going to go ahead and end the call. Okay, so this is the base prompt, and these are the strategies that we like to use. Again, so just to quickly review here, we develop and build these prompts in Markdown, for one. The three key aspects that we like to focus on when building prompts are the persona, the rules, and the steps to follow. It's very, very important to include things like examples in these prompts to help give it some guide rails of what to do on conversation in real time, and also capitalization. So when you are capitalizing words, they have more emphasis. So remember key words, things like one field at a time, or only, must, those type of words. Use those to improve your voice assistant to really have the logic hone in on specific directions you'd like it to take on call. Let's go ahead and give this voice agent a test by giving it a call.
Hello, thanks for calling Spark Pro Electric. My name is Katie. How can I help you today?
Hey, Katie. I have a light switch out in my master bathroom. I'm really having an issue. I think I might need someone out here to come check it out.
I understand how inconvenient that can be. Let's get this sorted out for you. Could you tell me when you first noticed the issue with the light switch?
Yeah, it happened just today.
Thank you for letting me know. Has this issue occurred before, or is this the first time you're experiencing it?
Yeah, it's the first time.
Got it. Is the issue affecting just the light switch, or are there any other electrical components in the bathroom or elsewhere in your home that are experiencing problems?
Just the light switch.
Thank you for the information. Could I please have your first name? If you wouldn't mind, could you spell it out for me as well?
Sure, Lenny.
Thank you, Lenny. Next, what's your preferred contact number?
That is 949-610-1111.
Thank you. Could you please provide your address, including the city, state, and zip code?
Sure, 123 North Tustin Place, Orange, Nevada 92819.
Thank you, Lenny. Just to confirm, I have your name as Lenny, your contact number is 949-610-1111, and your address is 123 North Tustin Place, Orange, Nevada 92819. Is that all correct?
That's correct.
Great. We'll contact you shortly with an estimated time of arrival for service. If you need any further assistance, feel free to reach out. Have a great day.
Thanks. Well, there we go. It worked perfectly. Well, that's it for today. And if you found this video valuable, please hit that like button. It really helps us reach a wider audience. If you want to see more content on Voice AI, make sure to smash that subscribe button along with that notification bell to never miss another one of our videos. We'll catch you next time. Peace.